It was, wasn't it? High drama, high drama. We've played in some outstanding games, haven't we? For intrigue and drama and everything going to every result open right to the end. And today was no difference, but probably had a bit more at stake and a bit more of a twist to come. With that last wicket partnership.
I know you never say never, but 45 for 5, victory didn't look likely, I think it's fair to say.
No, it doesn't. We just talked about all the time about being positive and trying to put the pressure back on the bowlers and on their lengths. And obviously what Brownie and then Craig Kachopa did, they sort of broke the seal a little bit and moved some fielders and got some distance, and then runs more readily became available. And obviously Chris Jordan just continued it.
And was that the tactic, at 45 to 5, I think we need to be positive here?
Yeah, it was what we spoke about all the time is being able to, is what type of player you are. So someone like Luke Wells is going to play in his own way, but you want your counter-attacking, those players with the ability to counter-attack to do that. And, they are Righty, Ben Brown, Craig Kachopa, etc. Those boys, you want them to play with freedom and put the pressure back on the bowlers. Righty didn't come off, but obviously Brownie, and to the degree Craig Kachopa did, as I say, it just turned the whole course of the game. Sucks you into hoping, doesn't it? Then you're pretending that you don't really think you have got hope, and you're pretending not to be watching that keenly, and then you're just sucked in completely, and then we lose 2, and you prepare yourself to be gutted again. And as I say, then Chris Jordan comes to the fore.
We'll talk about Luke Wells' innings in a moment, but Chris Jordan, were you watching sort of through your fingers up here on the balcony? What was everyone doing?
Well, I just remember going to go to the toilet, nipped tight in between overs. I came back and kicked Lewis Hatchett out the spot where I was the previous over, and you're watching with bated breath, and you're trying to second guess how he's going to play. Is he going to go every ball, first ball? Is he going to try and push twos, and trying to get into his mind? And it's special moments like this while you play the game, don't you? You get enough heartaches and disappointments and long journeys on Friday nights from far field with disappointment in you, so you have to treasure situations like that.
Chris Jordan will rightly get the headlines alongside Ben Brown, but a word about Luke Wells' innings, because in the context of the match that was an extraordinary innings.
Look, it was a hard-fought game. I think they were one of the hardest teams to play against Warwickshire. They've got some streetwise cricketers, and they play it to the edge, and a good team to benchmark yourself against. But that's why we're so pleased. We beat them twice last year, obviously beat them today, be it by the smallest of margins. And what was pleasing in this game, the outstanding performances are actually in our team. So I think overall we've deserved it, because we've had the best innings of the match, which was Luke Wells. We've had the best bowling figures, which was Ollie Robinson. And then obviously the character and the courage that was shown today by Brownie and CJ to get us over the line.
Luke Wells dropped after the first 2 championship matches. What have you done over those 2 matches that he hasn't played to restore his confidence?
Well, it's never about the coaches, it's always about the player. All the coaches can do is try and encourage the player and help facilitate a player back to how he wants to be. So Luke didn't have a great pre-season and wasn't moving as well as we wanted, and we just felt he needed some time out to go score some runs, get some confidence back, and work a little bit technically. And he's done all 3 of those things. And also one thing about Wells is that if you want to pick someone to bat for your life and be in the trenches next to, it's Luke Wells. He's a courageous player and has the ability to, when he gets into, to really go big and not give it away, and that's some of his huge qualities. So, as I say, he's worked hard technically, got some confidence, and that's as good an innings as he's played in different circumstances, because it was technically good. He didn't give a chance, I don't think, as well. So it was the best innings by a long way in the match.
Let's go back to 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. What would Sussex have done if you'd have won the toss?
It looked a great wicket. We were batting. Both teams were batting. It was like this, the blue skies. We've just played 3/4 of the game under leaden skies, and half the game under floodlights, where it was very debatable should he be playing at all. And it's just exaggerated everything that's been in the wicket and made batting at times perilous.
I've got to ask you about the wicket, Mark. What's the situation? Because the umpire said rated as below average. What's the latest situation?
Look, we're in the ECB's hands. Look, we'd be bitterly disappointed because, we've tried to. Everybody knows what we've done, which we've relayed the square. We're trying to produce wickets that have good pace, good bounce, just good batting wickets, but with pace and carry, where the Knicks carry, and it encourages exciting cricket where batsmen can play the shots. But the square does need to settle down, and this was a wicket we played Lancashire on last year, which was an absolute belting wicket, one of the best you play on anywhere around the world. So that's what we're trying to do, and I feel for the groundsman. The conditions going into the game, he couldn't quite get it as dry as he wants, but our expectation, it would play really, really well, and obviously we're surprised. But as I say, we've played a lot of the game with the Ledhams guys, as I said before, and under floodlights, and we're hoping that the ECB will take that on into consideration. But we're in their hands. There's two good men, the umpires. They've made their decision. We've got to respect that, and we just hope that, from our point of view, common sense will prevail. But we've got to wait and see how they look at it.
Has that decision changed from below average then, Mark?
I don't know. I'm in the ECB hand. I know as much as you. I'm sat here with you, waiting to find out what happens. The umpires will make their decision, and then we go from there. But as I say, I've been around the game a long time. I know what this groundsman's trying to do. He's not trying to scarify ends. He's not trying to leave excessive grass on. He's trying to produce good wickets. We didn't know Chris Jordan was going to be here till Thursday. So you just want good wickets that produce good cricket, and that's what we try to do. Well, we haven't. We have to take that on the chin. It wasn't, the wicket didn't play like we wanted it to play. It didn't play like we expected it to play. I think it was mitigating circumstances, as I say, because of the conditions. But our groundsman, as I say, he's on his remit is to try and make pace, and he's relaying the squares, going back to it. It's sometimes they settle down, sometimes they don't.
When do you expect to hear, Mark?
I don't know. I know as much as you. I've never been in this situation before.
Okay. Let's talk about yourself. Can we talk about the England job? Trevor Bailey's been appointed. What's your initial reaction to that, Mark?
I suppose it was shocked like everybody else. It just seemed like it was going to Jason Gillespie, didn't it? So a bit shocked because I was expecting another name to be announced, and Mr. Bayliss has got it, and good luck to him.
From your point of view, a year ago you were in the shortlist of 5. I wonder whether you'd had any communication at all with Andrew Strauss, whether he'd spoken to you at all, Mark. Have you your work with the Lions, particularly during the winter?
Nobody's spoken to me whatsoever. Nobody's spoken to me. Didn't seem to be totally in consideration for this gig last year. I got approached and got encouraged to go for the job. Did the Lions in the winter, and hopefully that went well, but obviously I wasn't on their shopping list for this one.
Yeah, and how disappointing is that? Because the reports were that you'd done a very good job with the Lions. How disappointed are you that perhaps there's been no communication?
Well, it's not. Look, that is disappointing, isn't it? Because you'd always like to be communicated with, but I don't want you to make a story of that, because that's not particularly what you're saying. Look, it's a bit like the umpires in this game, the ECB, and Andrew Strauss will make the best decision as he sees fit for English cricket. That's the most important bit. They get the man that they feel can carry the England team forward the best, and that's what his brief will be. It's disappointing that for all the English coaches that we were in the frame, if I'm honest. Of course we're going to be disappointed, Ashley Giles, etc., that we're not seem to be at least worth a conversation or a chat. But Andrew Strauss is doing what he feels best, and you've got to respect that.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.